click record before I forget. Like I said, we are not going to go over any Success Club or anything. I am going to shout out Paige. She is not on right now because I think she's driving, but she hit Emerald today, and I know that Michelle did as well, and I'm hoping they jump on. But shout out to you guys. It is awesome first step, and we just got to keep growing. We're going up from here. We are on our way. I'm so excited. Tomorrow is the second Friday of the month, so we get to find out our elite ranking. Last month, we were in the top 500, like just above top 500. This month I'm expecting higher, so we just got to keep pushing. I'm so pumped to have Pat on. I feel like this is really the perfect timing because we have so many like new coaches and new runners, and he is all about mindset and really how to build that financial freedom. So I'm excited. Pat is in the Million Club. He is a 7-star diamond and 4-time elite coach, so he knows what he's talking about, and he's just very down to earth. So I'm excited to have him speak for us tonight. I'm just going to hand the microphone over to you, Pat.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So I'm from upstate New York. I think you guys, there's a good amount of you guys that are from upstate. I was a college athlete up there, and when I was picking my major, my mom told me to be an accounting major because I'd be able to get a good job. So that was kind of like, and you guys know who my mom is. Like she knows what she's talking about. So I was like listening to her, right? But that was kind of the extent of like the thought I put into what I was going to do for a living. And so I went to school and like, graduated and got a really good job and got my CPA license. And I did this, like corporate thing. And I was getting promoted and I was making good money. And I was also at the same time, like not super excited to get out of bed in the morning. And I also was like gaining 30 pounds. And I kept seeing this infomercial for P90X. My life. Yeah. Anybody can relate to that? Like not super excited to get out of bed in the morning. So I kept seeing this infomercial for P90X, and I just kept watching it over and over and over. And finally, like the 10th time I saw it is when I bought it. That's a clue right there that like I had to see something 10 times before I bought it. That's just how everything works in life, right? So, but when I bought it, I just started to feel kind of like, I just felt like an athlete again. Like I started to lose the weight. I started to feel strong, like physically, but also like mentally. I just felt like more like myself. And my buddy that I went to college with, he was the coach. And when he found out I was doing P90X, he told me about the coaching opportunity. And he was brand new too, so he didn't really know what he was doing. But he explained to me how it worked. And all he told me was just get to Emerald. He was like, just sign up, get 2 people to sign up, get to Emerald, and you're going to be eligible for customer leads, and you'll be eligible for this team bonus, which is based on the efforts of not what you do, but the efforts of an entire team. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I can do that. So I literally like, that was the only training I got. I just got in and I was like, all right, I'm going to get to Emerald. And that was it. So, the thing that really like attracted me to it though, is that there's 2 ways you earn as a coach, right? So the first way you earn as a coach, how many of you guys like feel comfortable like explaining to someone how you earn as a coach? How many of you guys don't feel so comfortable when people ask you, right? Like most people, it's kind of hard for them to explain. So the way I explain it to coaches, or the way I explain it to not just new coaches, but the way I explain it to people that are interested in coaching is pretty simple. There's 2 ways that you earn as a coach. The first way you earn is customer commission. That's like everything else in life. It's 100% your effort. What you do, what you sell, you get paid for. Like you show up to a job, you get paid for your hours. You trade your time for money, right? Just like that's how a job is, right? The second way you earn as a coach though is what's called the team bonus. And that's not based on your efforts. That's based on the efforts of your entire team. And that's when it really clicked for me. Because if you're only getting paid for your time, then you're kind of capped on like how much you can earn. Because you only have so much time. You only have so many hours in a day. Like if you wanted to give yourself a raise or double your income, you'd have to work double the amount of hours. But like, who wants to do that? So you're capped, right? You guys like feel that like at a normal job, you're capped on like what you can earn. So that to me is kind of tough. The other thing that is like that financial cap. The other thing is there's kind of like a cap on how much free time you have, because if you're always trading time for money, then you don't have much extra free time to do the things you want to do with your life. So you're capped on your time too. This allows you to not be capped on what you earn, and it allows you to not be capped on how much free time you want to do whatever you want to do with your life, right? So what I call that financial freedom, and I call it time freedom. I also call it location freedom. A normal job, you're stuck like where your job's at. You're capped on what you can earn, and you're capped on how much vacation time you have. With Beachbody, you can create financial freedom, you create time freedom, and you can create location freedom. That to me was the coolest thing about this whole business was that side of it. So kind of the key to it though is the key to the whole business is finding a couple really good leaders that want to do this with you. Like finding those few people that just like believe in this business as much as you do. And you don't need a million coaches. You just need 2 or 3 really committed ones. The kind of the catch, the mindset of the whole thing is understanding that like those 2 or 3 people that you want on your team are usually people that kind of have to sit back and watch for a while. Sometimes a year, sometimes longer. And they might even be watching you already. They probably are. And sometimes they have to sign up as a coach and still aren't really fully in yet, and they're still watching you. That's the catch with the business. It's a simple business. Like you got to find those 2 or 3 leaders, but the catch is it's going to take time to prove to them that this is real, right? So that I think was my biggest mistake as a new coach. Like I didn't really understand that part of it. I didn't understand that people needed to watch me for a while. That my mindset didn't get that, because at a normal job, you just show up and you get paid. At this, you have to invest your time up front and then you get paid down the road. My mindset had never understood that because I never have been taught that, because we're just taught to become employees and trade time for money. So I had to learn how to shift my mindset and understand that, okay, I have to invest my time up front. I'm not going to make a ton of money up front, but I need to let these people watch me. I need to be their guinea pig before they're going to get on board with me. And there's a bunch of analogies. Like how many of you guys are visual learners? Like I'm a huge, huge visual learner. Like that, the visual examples are what clicked for me. So that when I started hearing these visual examples, all of a sudden my mindset started to go like, oh, I get this now. I understand this. So one of the mindset visual examples that I love is running up an escalator that's going down. How many of you guys have ever actually really tried to do that? You've tried to run up an escalator that's going down. Anybody ever done that before? Nobody's ever done this? I'm the only one. Come on. So you're running up this escalator that's going down, right? And it's like, you're like excited. You're like, I'm going to do this business. Like, let's crush this thing. And you start running, you're inviting, you're talking to people, and you're kind of getting some momentum. You're maybe getting a little bit up the escalator. And then all of a sudden, like, you're like, man, I'm not really moving as fast as I want up this escalator because it's an escalator that's going down, right? And like we said, people need to watch you for a while before they're ready. And so what happens when you're on an escalator that's going down and you stop? Go backwards, right? So that's what I did to myself over and over and over again. I did that over and over and over again to myself. And I just see these other coaches get on the escalator after me and just stay really consistent. They just stayed a little bit more consistent. They stayed on the escalator a little bit longer. People watched them a little bit longer. They gained a little bit more credibility. They got more results. They read more personal development. They started gaining a little more confidence. They started getting a few more people that were watching them. They started getting a few more people that were joining them. And I'm over here going up and down the escalator, taking a break, going backwards. Running, taking a break, going backwards. And it just kind of got to the point where it like pissed me off. And I finally said, I'm getting back on this escalator. I don't care how long it takes. Like, I'm getting back on this thing. And I know in my gut it's inevitable that I'm going to find those 2 or 3 people that get that financial freedom and want to build this as much as I do, that want time freedom, that want financial freedom, that want all those things. I just know it's going to happen. So I just got back on the escalator and I just never gave up on it. And that's when people started to notice. 6 months in, a year in, all of a sudden momentum started catching. 2 years in, the business was just like on fire. That 2 years of consistency was like when it really started to go, like that lit the flame. And that 3rd year was like an explosion, right? That's just kind of how it works sometimes. So that's kind of a mindset piece. Another thing I really love is thinking of this business as more of like being a farmer than a hunter. So like a hunter is like a car salesman. A hunter is like someone who goes out and like wants to make the kill like that day, like wants to go out and like bring home the dinner, like the meal that day. A farmer goes out and plants seeds and then goes back and waters them day after day after day after day. And then they know that the meal is going to come. And that's what this business is. The people that have the farmer mentality in this business kill this thing. Because they go out and they just continue to plant seeds with people. They don't care if people say no. They're not hunters going out trying to find something right away. They're planting those seeds. They're getting their nose. They love their nose. They know that nose is a good thing. So they keep getting their nose. They keep planting those seeds. And then they water those seeds by showing up on their own journey every day. So they've planted these seeds. They've gotten all these no's. And now these people are watching them closer. And they're watering these seeds every day because people are watching them every day. And these seeds are slowly starting to sprout. These people are slowly starting to watch a little closer. They're slowly starting to get a little more curious. But if you stop showing up, then you stop planting, you stop watering those plants, they're going to die. So you got to keep watering the plants like a farmer. And if you just keep showing up, keep watering them, eventually they're ready. They're ready to join you. And then all of a sudden, they're ready to get on board with you. And if you can start to create a team of farmers, you're going to have a team that's just going to be out there planting seeds like crazy. And you're going to crush this thing. That's how I look at this business. You guys want one more visual mindset example? You guys like these visual mindsets? This is all, I'll probably be saying the same stuff at the Austin Super Saturday too, because that's just like, this is the visual stuff is like, I think what lands for me, and I think 80% of people. This bird just landed like right next to me. This bird knows I have seeds in my hand or something. Like I'm serious. Like there's a bird like right here. It's like, here you go. So here's another little visual example. Like I think if you think of this business, like there's a bunch of cups that are, there's water in here, but like if this was empty and I tipped it upside down and you couldn't see what was underneath the cups, and let's say there's 1,000 cups flipped upside down on this table right now, and underneath 5 of those cups, there are diamonds, like big diamonds, right? Under 5 of those cups. How many cups would you flip before you quit? How many would you flip? How many would you flip? You flip all 1,000, right? Like most people, when they get into this business, they only flip like 5 cups, maybe 10 cups. Like they don't keep flipping cups. You have to just continue to flip cups. Sometimes you go to flip a cup and it's stuck. Like it's not ready to be flipped yet. So you just got to like kind of move it around and like loosen it a little bit and then move on and go flip another cup. And then if it's not ready, then put it back down. And then you come back to the one that was kind of stuck and you loosen it and it's ready to flip. And then, oh my God, there's the diamond. Like my sister, Amy Riehlman's a perfect example of that. I tried to flip that cup 100 times and it just never would flip. But I kept coming back to it and just kind of shaking it a little bit. Like, is it ready to flip yet? Let me see. I'm not going to like jerk it, but I'm just kind of seeing if it's ready. And then finally, eventually the one last time I came to flip it and it flipped and there was a diamond under there. So there's all these cups out there that are all waiting to be flipped. Some aren't ready to be flipped, but you just kind of continue to flip these cups and just keep gently shaking them. And eventually some of them are going to be ready to flip and you're going to find those diamonds under there. And so that's kind of how I look at this business too. So I'm always planting seeds like a farmer. I'm always flipping cups. I just know that it's just inevitable that if I plant enough seeds and I flip enough cups, I'm going to find good people. If I stay on the escalator long enough and keep just making a little bit of traction every day, it's inevitable I'm going to get to the top of that escalator. And then once you get a few good people that really love this thing, that really want to crush this thing with you, then you're on an escalator that's going up. Like this thing starts running. Like if you're on an escalator and you don't even move, you're still moving. You're still going up. That's what happens when you get a few good people on your team. You're on this escalator. You feel like you're not doing anything, but your business is growing without you. Like that's the coolest part about this business is once you get those few good people and you're starting to get paid for the efforts of the team, not just for your coaches, but for how successful, how many people your coaches help, also how many people your coaches help, how many people your coaches help. You get paid for all of those people that your team help. There's a direct correlation between how many people your team is helping and what you earn. So you're not capped on what you can earn because it's not based on your hours. It's based on the hours of the entire team. It's based on how many people, not what you help. It's based on how many people your entire team helps. That's the coolest thing about this thing. And then because it's based on all the people that your team is helping, you're not capped. That creates the financial freedom. Like you have freedom to earn as much as you want now. And because it's not just based on you, you can go and do whatever you want to do and have more free time to travel and do the things you want to do and still get paid because your team's still helping people. And you can go anywhere and do it anywhere you want to do it. So you're not stuck in any one place. I hated having a boss tell me what to do. We just got back from the Beachbody cruise. The first cruise that my family went on, I couldn't go because it was my tax season. You know, and then I just want to write this down because this is a good story to share at the Austin Super Saturday too. Because this one really pissed me off. This one really pissed me off. Because I'm sitting in a cubicle in the middle of the winter. I would go to work, it was dark out. I'd leave work, it was dark out. Once in a while, I'd take a break from work. I'd look at my computer and I saw a picture with my parents and my sisters at the cruise with Sean T in the middle of the four of them. And they said, our new son, Sean. And I was like, those mother effers. Like, I thought it was funny, but it pissed me off that I couldn't be there with them because I was stuck at a job because I asked for permission. I don't want to ask for permission. I don't want to have to ask a boss to do anything. And I don't want to have to look at my bank account to do anything. I want freedom to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with who I want to do it. Like I went to my dad at the beginning of this year. I said, Dad, you've done so much for me. I want to do something for you this year. I want to take you anywhere you want to go. Where do you want to go? It's on me. I'll take care of the flights, the hotel, everything. And he wanted to go skiing in Colorado. So I took care of, he didn't pay for anything. I didn't have to ask a boss. I didn't have to check my bank account. I just said, I want to do this for you. Let's go. That to me is freedom. That to me is freedom. And now I'm fired up. But that's what this business does. That's what this business does for you. Jobs don't do that. Jobs keep you stuck. They have caps on your time and on your income and on where you have to be. This allows you to have total freedom to do whatever you want to do with whenever you want to do it. You're not capped on time. You're not capped on money. You can build this thing as big as you want to get it. It's the best. And you're surrounding yourself with positive people. If you surround yourself with positive people, you're going to become a more positive person. True that. Yo, Danny's like, yeah. I hope you're not driving, Danny. I hope you're not driving. You're like, I didn't even know you're clapping with two hands. You got to keep one hand on the wheel or something. But yeah, that to me is the big picture. Is not only do you get the freedom, but then you're surrounding yourself with other people. You're making you're leaving a legacy. Like you're doing something that's impacting a ton of lives, and you're doing something that's impacting lives that you don't even know. Like there's people that you'll never meet that you're impacting their lives because the way you're living your life, somebody is going to change some habits that is going to affect someone in their life. And then that person is going to change their habits and it's going to affect someone in their life. And it's creating this crazy ripple effect that is paying you, that ripple effect's paying you an income, but there's also even more of a ripple effect that you can't even see that's going to affect people that are going to be here after you're not even around anymore. Like that's a legacy. That's a legacy. That's a ripple effect. Yeah. Freedom.
I fucking love all of it. I mean, I feel like I've heard the first two analogies, a million times, but I love them. And I feel like my girls are probably like, I've heard the word inevitable come out of Maddie's mouth like 3,000 times since I've signed as a coach because I use that basically every day. But I don't think I've ever heard the flip cup one, and that is so true. And that's when I think about my girls asking me like, how many invites should I be sending a day? And I'm like, well, I mean, how fast do you want to go? How many challenge packs, like how many lives do you want to change? Because there's a million people out in the world that could use this. Go find somebody that needs this. Like there's someone out there that needs this gift. You just have to go find them.
Right.
So
and you might not be ready just yet. So you just got to keep planting those seeds. Just like some seeds aren't ready to sprout yet. Some cups aren't ready to be flipped yet.
Yeah. And I love that you said that too, because every single one of my personally sponsored girls that is on here right now watched me for 2 to 3 years. So I feel like I'm right where you said you're like 2 years, you're like, whoa, and then 3 years like explode. That's where I feel like I'm getting to right now, because all of my girls that are on right now watched me forever. And I invited and just like kept going with that relationship and building that relationship. And now they're finally here and they're just like running. And it's incredible. It's so exciting, but I love that they're hearing this because they're never going to be able to use that excuse with me. Like nobody's signing up. And I'm like, how long did you wait?
Right. Totally.
I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I want to ask you, any questions, just put in the chat, guys. But I did want to, one thing that I love that you said, and I feel like a lot of my girls on my team are travelers like me. And my biggest thing was, I just wanted to pick up and go whenever I wanted, never wanted to ask a boss. That's literally why I said after college, I am not getting a job. Like, I refuse to get a job because I refuse to have to ask permission off. I love that you took your dad and did that. That is literally my goal, is to take my mom to Ireland. But it's really awesome. Like with this week's paycheck, I'm able to buy a plane ticket to go see her for her birthday. And that's so freeing because I was never able to do that. And when I was serving, like you said, you wake up when it's dark out and go to sleep when it's dark. I was getting up at 5 a.m., going to work, going to class, and then I would go to bed at 11 p.m. when I would get done serving. So all of the freedom talk, and I know that gets all of my girls so hyped up. I did want to ask you just like your relationship building and kind of how you go about your actual business activities, because I like hearing it. We hear from, I feel like, the same kind of few people, that I think it's good to get a different perspective on that.
How I build relationships?
Yeah.
I think that I'm just interested in people. I think I'm just like naturally interested in like what people do. Especially if they're like excited about what they do, or I don't know. I just like asking questions. Like I'd rather like ask people a lot of questions and have them talk about themselves than have me talk about myself to them. And I think that, I think people are interested in people who are interested in them. And so I'm always asking people questions about themselves because I think I'm just naturally curious about people. Like I just naturally like talking to people. Like when, sometimes I get on an airplane and I'm like, I put my headphones in. I don't want to talk to anybody, but like sometimes I get on the airplane and I'm like, I just want to know, who this person is. I want to ask him and then once I get on a roll, like I'm asking this person a million questions. And it's really kind of that third or fourth question that you really get to know who someone is. Like the first question's like, where are you from? Like, what do you do for work? And then you get to that like fourth question, you start to like, their face changes. Like they're like, their face lights up when you start asking them questions that they're really you can tell that they really are getting excited and they're actually like engaged. And then like I might go a whole like conversation with someone and they don't know anything about me, but they like really love me for some reason. They're like, you're like an awesome, like, you're so cool. Like, we should like hang out sometime or something. I'm like, I could be like a mass murderer. Like, you don't know anything about me, dude. But, but they think it's so cool that I like just genuinely was interested in asking a million questions. So I think I just ask a million questions and I just have a genuine like interest for getting to know people. Just because that makes life more fun. Just connecting with people, like to me is like one of the coolest things. Asking them a ton of questions, I think, and then also like finding those commonalities, like those common threads that like things we have in common a little bit, starts to build a little rapport. And then also just naturally from asking questions, like everybody has problems. Like everybody has problems. Everybody. Like everyone has things that could be better, or they want to be improved or something. And so when you're asking questions, like you're not just learning about them, you're learning about everything. You're starting to learn like little things like, that there might be something that you have a solution for, or maybe someone that has a solution, like maybe they have a problem with something and you have a friend that does that, or maybe, they need help, or maybe there's, something comes up and they just feel like they say they don't have enough energy, or they say, they just don't work out, or they say they, don't have enough money. I mean, how many people would like more money and like to be in better shape? It's like, if you ask people enough questions, they're interested, they like you because of it, and you find commonalities and you find, problems they have, or, things they want to get better at, improve. So I think just that's how I do it. It's just, I just ask a lot. I just ask people questions, tons of questions. And then I'm a problem solver too. Like I just love solving problems,
Yeah.
And we have such a great, what we do as coaches, like we have so many different solutions for so many different things. Like whether you're just trying to feel better, have more energy, be more positive, or trying to make more money, or all of the above, like we got a solution for all of that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the same exact way. I love traveling for that specific reason of meeting new people. Even yesterday, I went to like an olive oil store, and the lady that was there, her name was Margot, and I learned all about her and ended up giving her, like my Instagram handle, and like told her all about tapping, which is like something that helps back pain. But we get it flowing, and I'm asking more questions and stuff. And it is, once you show interest, like I ended up getting free samples out of it, free samples of olive oil, because you're interested in people. And everybody in this society, like right now, people are so go, go, go. And when you actually slow down and like are interested in somebody's life and care about them, it means something. So I love that.
I was at my cousin's bachelor party this past weekend, and this kid I had never met before, like, was one of my cousin's friends, and he goes, hey, he's like, hey, like, nice to meet you. Immediately he goes like, hey, you do one of those pyramid scheme things I heard, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's what I thought. And I was like, it doesn't bug me anymore. Like I legit, like the rest of that weekend, like if he was ever, talking about what he does, which is like, he does like e-commerce, like he buys dog collars from China, and then he sells them online to people in the US for like a markup. And he's like really good at like internet marketing and, Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And I just like talked to him. I just was like really interested in what he was doing. Genuinely was like, that's cool. Like, tell me more about how that works. Like, and I was just asking him stuff. And then he started asking me questions like, how's that beach body? And I was like, it's kind of similar, like, you know, like in a way, like I find people that need a product and then they get the product from me and I, you know, make a profit from it. I get a commission from the company, kind of like you do with collars, except I also can build a team and show them how to do it. And I get paid for that as well, like for based on how many people they help. And he was like, oh shit, really? Like that's how he signed up as a coach, like on Monday. Yeah, exactly. I just did a getting started right call with him today and he's like all amped up. He was on the team call last night. Like he's ready to go.
I love that. That's freaking awesome. I've had a couple girls that I've like met in the airport or on the airplane like sign as coaches. So yeah, make relationships everywhere. Like Amy Silverman always says, you know, like you should be talking to your waitress about like what she does. And that's me. That's me when I go to any places. I like somehow always end up on the conversation of like, here's what I do. Here's a solution to your problem.
Yeah. Or even just like get, you know, their social media so they can kind of watch and follow up with them after.
Yep. The lady actually, last time I went home, I got stuck in the airport again for a night and I went to get food from Starbucks and the girl I met at the cash register, I like was buying the healthiest food I could because it was like 1 a.m. and she's like, wow, you like picked some healthy options. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do my best. The only other thing that's open is McDonald's and I'm a health coach. So she ended up following me and like I'm continuing to follow up with her and I know she'll get started at some point. So we have about 2 minutes left. So is there any last questions? I know Sam asked, what advice do you have for when coaches quit? She says she takes it super personally, but needs to change her mindset.
What do I do when coaches quit?
Yeah, like just, you know, like not taking it super personally.
Yeah. Man, I've had so many coaches quit. It's just kind of part of it. Like
that's what I told her this morning. I was like, top coaches probably get 50 of those a day.
Yeah. Man, every time I go into my Gmail, it says like someone quit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of part of it. Like coaches are going to quit. Like I heard someone say like, what's like that whole saying like, oh, well, who cares? So what? Who's next? Yeah. Something like that. The other thing to keep in mind is I've had coaches that quit and came back and are successful. Yeah. So I'm never like mad at them or like I don't want to drag coaches because if you drag a coach, all you're doing is you're teaching them that if they are going to be successful, they have to drag a coach. So you're really doing them a disservice. If you really want to motivate somebody, have success without them. And let them get left behind. And if it's the right fit, they'll come back and be ready to run with you.
Yes.
That's the best way to motivate. If you drag them, you think you're helping them, but you're actually hurting them because you're teaching them the wrong things. And just be successful without them. Like if it's a right fit, they'll come back. If it's not, it's not. It's okay.
Yeah, I love that because that's definitely true of like what I went through last year is like the people I started with are not, you know, so a couple of them are here, but I just started running. So, and the people who want to be here will be here. And if it's meant for them, they're going to be here. But we're on our last minute. So thank you, Pat, so much. And guys, if you have any questions, just throw them in the team page and I will definitely let Pat know. But thank you. This was awesome. I think we all gained so much and we just needed that mindset. So
Picture.
I took a quick picture, but my screen is blue, so if anybody else wants to take one. Somebody else got it. Nolene's got it. Smile. All right. Bye, guys. I love you. Have a good night. Thanks, Pat.